One day, while working on our camp, we pick up a new broadcast on the Pip-Boy. We now find a Brotherhood of Steel welcome broadcast.
Attention, people of Appalachia. This is Paladin Romani of the Brotherhood of Steel, broadcasting from Fort Atlas. You are no longer facing the wasteland alone. The Brotherhood has returned. Our mission is to help you lead a better, safer life, free from the dangers left behind in the wake of the Great War. If you require aid, or if you wish to join us in our mission, find us at Fort Atlas. A new dawn is here for Appalachia. Join us in building the future. Romani out.
If I want a better life? Who is this lady? It's a bit high and mighty thinking she and her Brotherhood can give me a better life. Well, wait a minute, I thought the Brotherhood were dead. We found their ghosts at Fort Defiance. Is she saying that the Brotherhood are somehow back? Heading to the Atlas Observatory, we see that it's now covered with Brotherhood of Steel insignia. And then we remember, of course, we met Russell Dorsey here a long time ago, and he was telling us that he was getting the place ready for when the Brotherhood returned. Well, looks like he did a good job. It looks like the Brotherhood let him stay. Well, I'm so happy for Russell Dorsey. It's all he ever wanted.
Hey, good to see you again. Welcome to Fort Atlas.
And if we helped him scavenge for supplies before the Brotherhood arrived, we find an option to say, looks like your plan worked, Dorsey.
I caught a little flack for using the logo when they arrived, but they were pretty impressed. So much work was already done. The Paladin asked me on the spot if I wanted to make it official as an initiate. I'm not too proud to say I got so excited I barely could say yes.
He says something different if this is our first time meeting him.
Hello, Russell Dorsey, Brotherhood Initiate. Welcome to Fort Atlas.
I guess the Brotherhood finally showed up.
They sure did. Trailing a bunch of recruits and new initiates they'd picked up along the way. Quite the sight to see, no lie. I was really glad I had something to show them when they got here.
Fort Atlas?
Formerly the Atlas Observatory. Now headquarters for the Brotherhood of Steel.
Well, hey, I'd like to speak to somebody in charge.
Looking to sign up? Or just curious? Well, either way, I guess it's not me you want to talk to. Most of the fort's off limits to civilians, but if you're interested, Knight Shin's in charge of the new recruits. He's very serious about protocol and security, so I'll have to speak to him first if you want to get in.
With that, we complete the quest, Welcome to the Neighborhood, and we begin the quest, Forging Trust. Well, Russell, I'd like to know more about the Brotherhood.
Of course. What'd you want to know?
What can you tell me about the Brotherhood?
The Brotherhood of Steel is well, I guess you'd call it a military organization. Founded originally out in California around when the bombs fell. We're dedicated to rebuilding society and preserving old technology, keeping the mistakes of the past from being repeated, you know? One of the members from California could tell you more, I'm sure.
What's it like being an initiate?
Oh, it's an honor. I know that sounds like some recruiting poster nonsense, but really, it is. I finally feel like I'm part of something meaningful. Building a better world alongside other people who've committed their lives to that cause. Sure, sometimes it means doing guard shifts in the rain, but hey, small price to pay for real purpose, right?
How many of the Brotherhood are here?
Pretty sure that's strategic information I'm not supposed to just give out to anybody that asks.
What's going on here?
Well, this is Fort Atlas, new headquarters of the Brotherhood of Steel in Appalachia. The Brotherhood's in the process of getting everything in order here, but already people from all over Appalachia are turning up. Some need help, some want to join, but it seems like everybody's curious what comes next. I just say what Paladin Romani says. We're here to help.
What's your story?
Me? Oh, I'm just a guy who wanted to be a part of something special. A place to do something that really mattered. I picked up the messages the Brotherhood were broadcasting on the way here, and I came out ahead to help set up the place, hoping they'd let me join. They liked my initiative, and now I'm an initiate. Nice bit of symmetry, I thought.
I'll talk to you later, Dorsey.
Stay safe out there.
Heading into the tent, We find many of the same notes we found when we saw Dorsey here last, including a diary under his bed that I wasn't able to read when I was last here. The diary of Russell Dorsey, private. Figured I'd start a journal while I'm out here. Being alone in a place like this, a guy starts talking to himself anyway, so I guess I might as well write some of it down. Something to look back on when this is all finished, maybe. I was out looking for scrap when I picked up the signal. It was so faint, just a crackle of static at first, but then a few words came through here and there. I couldn't understand it until it had repeated a few times. The Brotherhood of Steel was coming back to West Virginia. It seemed impossible. But in between the hissing and pops, those words were real. I don't know what's bringing them back or why they waited so long to send someone from out west, but as soon as I understood what was happening, I packed what I had and came out to Atlas. This is where they're coming, so this is where I have to be. I've been thinking about Dad a lot while I've been doing all of this. Everything I set up here, I ask myself how he would have done it. I can still picture the house we lived in after the bombs fell, all the repairs he'd made, the extension he added so he could put in the water purifier, the greenhouse. I think he'd approve of what I'm building here. I wish he could have lived to see it. Not sure I'd have ever come out here if he had, though. Still miss him. Greg, wherever you are, thanks again. Greg was this guy I met on the road in Virginia. Old Robco technician back before the bombs fell. Used to work on Protectron units, going out to corporate customers and doing on-site maintenance, fixing broken motivators and that kind of thing. When I met him, he had this Protectron that followed him around. He called it Clanks, and he'd glued a ragged old top hat onto its head. Made it carry his stuff as he traveled. We were camping one night, and he made Clanks do a little dance routine, reciting a silly song in that mechanical voice they all have. Worst singing you've ever heard, but it made us laugh. He explained to me how he'd found the unit in an old shopping center, still running but with busted leg servos, and refurbished it. He opened up Clanks and showed me how you could hotwire their motherboards, activating maintenance circuits to override their command systems. It's funny, I never thought that would be all that useful. Then I showed up here. It's not easy luring a Protectron into a position where you can crack open their service panel and do some jury-rigging. But the good news is if you get one, it's a lot easier to get more. This place was a wreck when I got here. Nothing but wrecked vehicles, junk, and insane robots patrolling it all. Barely got away when they first attacked me. I don't know what they were doing here back in the day, or why an observatory would have security robots. But I'm glad they did, even if they almost blasted me at first. If they weren't here, none of this would have been possible. Without the bots to do so much of the lifting and welding and all of the other heavy construction, I'd barely have some sandbags in place here. Instead, we've cleared out the rubble, started on the walls. Heck, we've even got a landing pad on the go. I'm not even sure if the Brotherhood has any flyers, but I had the space, so why not? Still not sure what's inside the place, though. I could hear more robots clanking around in there, and when I peeked inside, it seemed like a wreck. I just boarded up the exits, so whatever's in there stays in there until the Brotherhood shows up. They'll know what to do better than I would, and the outside's enough work as it is. And then we find that Russell Dorsey has added to his diary after the Brotherhood arrives. Haven't had much time to spare to write here. The Brotherhood's back. I thought things were busy here when it was just me and the bots getting ready, but now things have really kicked into gear. I have to admit, I was surprised when it was just 3 of them. I figured a whole platoon or troop or whatever you call it was on the way, but it was just the Paladin, Knight, and Scribe. They had a bunch more folks with them, but only those 3 were actually Brotherhood, it turned out. Everyone else were just would-be members they'd picked up along the way. Like me, I guess. I'm the real deal now, though. Brotherhood Initiate Dorsey. They looked at everything I'd gotten ready for them here and swore me in almost on the spot. I nearly thought it was a joke, but, Knight Shin's not really the joking type. I still wake up some mornings thinking it was all a dream, but it's real. I'm truly part of something now. I hope, somehow, Dad sees what I've done, and he's proud. All right, Initiate me. Get back to work. Spoken like a true Dorsey, Russell Dorsey. If you missed my video where we were first introduced to Russell Dorsey, you can watch it by clicking here. We see the landing pad that he put together up here being patrolled by what are presumably new Brotherhood Initiate recruits. It's the perfect size for a vertibird, but looks like they didn't bring any with them. Of course they wouldn't. They hadn't stolen the plans from the Enclave at this point. Gonna have to wait over 100 years for that. At any rate, when ready, we can open the doors to what at one time was known as the Atlas Observatory and is now called Fort Atlas. We arrive inside to find a laser grid blocking our path, and we overhear a conversation.
I have real duties to attend to. The outer perimeter is still unsecured, the provisions aren't properly stowed, and we're awash in hopefuls. I have no time to be babysitting civilians.
Your duties are what I say they are, Knight. Your objections are noted, but this is a direct order from your commanding officer. Help us put on a good face for the local people. We've just moved into their backyard. They're nervous. Show them we mean no harm.
If you insist, Paladin. If there's nothing further, I'll have the completed report on your desk shortly.
I expect nothing less from you. As you were, Shin.
Paladin,
Yikes. Well, looks like it's not all rosebuds and potpourri here. I think we just stumbled into some drama. Well, the Knight and Paladin wander off, and then a big security door to the Atlas Observatory slams shut. Standing nearby is a guy in overalls named Shawn Hawkman.
Not now. Not until these Brotherhood jerks listen to me.
And he won't talk to us. Okay. Is everyone here so charming? Well, let's see if we can talk to the Knight, who walked into this room to the right.
do not attempt to access the secure parts of this facility, civilian. We are watching you. If you're here with a request for the Brotherhood, get in line. I don't have time for you right now.
Ugh. Were you fighting with that other officer?
That was a Brotherhood matter, civilian, and none of your concern. You're trying my patience, so get on with it.
We haven't been introduced.
Knight Daniel Shin, Brotherhood of Steel, 1st Expeditionary Force. We've got important work to do here, so get to the point.
If we're already a member of the Brotherhood of Steel after having done the primary quest, we have an option to say, I'm actually an initiate myself, you know. Sir?
You're not one of mine. Don't tell me you followed that automated program Taggarty's people left behind at Fort Defiance. I respect that you did that. But that was a desperate measure on their part, and doesn't represent true Brotherhood traditions.
Ooh.
You want to be one of us? You're gonna have to earn it. From living members, including me.
Oh, so what we did didn't count. Russell Dorsey sent me to talk to you.
Did he? Initiate Dorsey is supposed to be manning his post at the entrance, not acting as my secretary.
You seem pretty tightly wound. Do you ever unclench?
I am not known by my initiates for tolerating foolishness, outsider. Persist in that tone and you will learn how much less I tolerate from civilians.
What are the Brotherhood doing here?
The specifics of our mission are not for discussion with civilians. We're here under orders from Elder Maxon. Stay out of our way, and we won't have any problems.
What would it mean to join the Brotherhood?
If we accept you as an initiate, and that is far from certain, you would be pledging yourself to our order and our cause. Our order exists to locate, secure, and protect dangerous technologies. Humanity cannot be trusted with the means to destroy itself. We will not allow another apocalypse.
Are you even recruiting new initiates?
That is within the scope of Paladin Romani's directives. It takes more than just asking, of course. You would have to prove yourself. If you are sincere about wishing to join our ranks, you would have to earn the approval of the officers here, including me. Is that why you're here? Another hopeful dreaming of service to the Brotherhood.
Dorsey thought I might be able to help out.
Initiate Dorsey is too trusting. But I can't fault his commitment. Perhaps he sees something in you worth our interest. Are you another aspirant to our order?
If you're an example of the Brotherhood, maybe not.
Insults are for children. Grow up or move along. But stop wasting my time.
Do I want to become an initiate? Maybe?
This isn't a casual decision, civilian. Becoming one of us is committing yourself and your life to a cause. Be certain. Otherwise, you're wasting both your time and mine.
We can lie and say, oh, sure, I definitely want in.
Wanting isn't enough. And not everyone who shows up looking to join our order is worthy of becoming an initiate.
Or we can pass a charisma check of 4 to say, I can think of no greater honor than to join your noble brotherhood.
If you mean that, then you are right. But if that's sarcasm, I recommend you stow it. Immediately. Normally, I'd stick you with the other hopefuls until we decide whether you're worthy. But if you're serious about joining us, you've got good timing. There's something you could do for me that would help the Order and demonstrate your qualities as a candidate. We've had a number of civilians show up here at Fort Atlas, asking for one thing or another from the Brotherhood. People are afraid, or want something, or looking to involve us in local squabbles. Civilian outreach is not my specialty. There's too much left to do to secure this facility. If you're really interested in helping, save my time. Interview the petitioners, find out what they want, and report back to me.
Well, what's in it for me?
To be in the Brotherhood is an honor and a life of service. If that's truly something you want, start here. Perform this duty well, and we can talk about your future.
Is there another member of the Brotherhood I could speak to?
No. The chain that binds dictates a strict hierarchy of command. And, as the only knight present, the initiates are directly under me. Unless I say so, your contact with the Brotherhood stops here.
Sure, I can do that.
Do this right. Don't make me regret giving you the opportunity. Conduct yourself properly, and we can consider putting you forward as an initiate candidate.
So, we need to find some of these petitioners. That's probably what this guy is doing here. We can start by talking with Shawn Hawkman.
You better have something useful to say to me.
Whoa, who are you? I don't even know you. What did I do?
I just told you who I am. I already told them that when I got here. Nobody's listening in this place. I came here so that they can make things right, and they won't even listen to me.
I'm not actually part of the Brotherhood. Don't take this out on me.
What? Oh, hey, sorry about that. You're right, ain't right me blowing up on you like that. I'm just really wound up, and none of these Brotherhood types are giving me the time of day.
Actually, Knight Shin asked me to talk to you.
Oh, can't even come to me himself? What, he needs to requisition some more armor polish? All right, keep it cool, Shawn. So, what's he got to say to me?
Would you tell me more about yourself?
I'm a scavenger mainly. Always been pretty good with a set of tools, so I do all right for myself, scrapping and fixing things. I trade what I find or fix with the folks at Foundation when I need something I can't get otherwise. Mostly, I like to be left alone.
Tell me what the problem is.
The problem is that a couple of these Brotherhood clowns showed up and took a bunch of my stuff at gunpoint. Now, I'm a peaceful man. I really am. I sure wasn't equipped to deal with armed thugs requisitioning the little I've managed to put together for myself. Never understood the Raiders. I like the quiet life. I don't need much, and I need trouble less. But after this, I get it. I came here to give the Brotherhood a chance to make things right. Else maybe I go to Crater and start doing things their way. At least they don't pretend to be the good guys.
I'll let Knight Shin know everything. First, though, I had more questions.
All right. What else did you want?
Are you sure they were Brotherhood?
Don't blow me off like I'm making this up. These people have a responsibility to fix this. They had the power armor, and they said they were Brotherhood. Sorry I didn't make sure to ask proof when they had me at gunpoint.
Would you really become a raider because of this?
Listen, I don't have much, but what's mine is mine, and these people took that from me. The Brotherhood pretends like they're noble, but then they let this happen? In their name? Raiders don't act like something they're not, and at least the gangs defend their own.
I'll tell them what you told me, Shawn. I promise. Goodbye.
Hey, thanks. I just needed someone to listen and take me seriously. I hope you can convince them.
All right, well, one down. Let's see if we can find these other guys. To do so, we can take a staircase to the left that brings us down to what appears to be a bit of a lounge. Here we see a number of people walking around, including this lady named Tally Lang.
Hey, yeah, you. Who do I need to talk to around here? You know, about the guns? You don't look like one of these Brotherhood yahoos. Name's Tally Lane. What's your deal?
Guns? You seem a little anxious.
Who, me? Nah. Cool as a cryo grenade, me. Definitely.
Wait, who are you?
I just told you, dummy. Tally Lane. Just another chick trying to make it in the wasteland. You know?
Knight Shin sent me to speak to you.
Shin? He the scary guy with the stick up his butt? Alright, shoot.
What's your story, Tally?
Oh, I'm just a poor country girl, you know? Parents died ages ago, so it's just me and a few friends trying to make our way in the world. It's pretty scary out there. Just a bunch of orphans helping each other out. We're practically just kids. Had to grow up on our own. We'd sure feel a lot safer with some of those high-tech guns these Brotherhood have to scare off all the maniacs out there.
Tally, you're not a raider, are you?
What? Me? A raider? No. A little old me? Don't be silly.
Now, if we're part of the Crater Raiders faction, we can pass a Raider faction check to say, come on, Tally, trust me, I'm friends with Crater.
Hey, Ixnay on the Ader Crate! You trying to blow this for me? Listen, my gang could really use those guns, so don't screw this up for me. If anybody asks, just pretend like you bought the act, okay?
So, I take it guns is what you're after?
Yeah, that's right. Big shiny guns. Now, all the talk in the area is about these Brotherhood folks with their high-tech toys, and I thought, Tally, you gotta get some of that. For self-defense, of course. Just so me and some of my poor, innocent friends can protect ourselves from all the nasty folks out there.
I'll be sure to tell that to Knight Shin, but I wanted to ask you some other things first.
Why not? Hit me.
Be honest with me, Tally. Why do you want those guns?
Hey, you calling me a liar? I mean, I already told you. My friends and I just need them for self-defense. We'll pay good caps.
Well, I can't promise anything, but I'll tell Knight Shin I should, go.
Hey, I get it. The promises backfire all the time. Well, go get him, Tiger.
With that, Tally, who's totally not a raider, walks off. And next up, we can talk with Art Knapp.
Well, now look at you. You with these Steel brother fellas? I've been waiting a good spell to talk to them.
You been waiting long?
Longer than I'd prefer. These Steel types ain't half disorganized right now, it looks like. Heard the news about these fellas and reckoned I'd better go see him. Ain't the only one neither, I see.
Hey, here comes
What is it you do?
Farming, such as it is. Got a patch ain't barely more than scald. But it's mine, and I manage.
I'm sort of with them. Knight Shin asked me to speak with you.
Well, it's about time. I'd like to die of old age waiting on him. Name's Art Knapp. So, what's this knight fella sent you for?
Tell me more about yourself.
Ain't much to tell. Been a farmer one way or another, all my life. My daddy before me, and so on. Set up in these parts after I heard it was safe again. Turned out, there's plenty of raiders fixing to take what ain't nailed down. Ain't much use bellyaching about it, but neither am I just gonna roll over and let some bullies take what's mine.
Isn't your farm in danger with you away?
Got seed in the ground right now. I ain't yet seen a raider willing to scrabble in the soil for seeds, so I reckon it'll get by till I'm back.
I was asked to find out what you wanted from the Brotherhood.
A fair trade's what I want. I've heard stories about these Steel types back in the day. They was going around taking things from folks. For the cause, they said. Yeah, like that don't make them raiders too. Well, I ain't got much, and I already got to worry about raiders. So, I reckon it's better to make a deal up front. My farm don't produce much, but I got some extra, and I expect they'll have a use for it. In return, I want these Steel boys and girls to keep raiders away from my farm. Heard a lot of noise they was on our side. So, seems fair.
I'll pass your offer tonight, Shin, but first I had some other questions.
I'm not going anywhere just yet. Shoot.
Wouldn't turning over your crops be just as bad as them being taken?
Before they bombed the daylights out of everything, folks used to pay taxes in exchange for the government doing what it was supposed to do. Raiders will just take everything. This is a trade. Fair is fair, and a deal's a deal. I ain't care for people poking their noses into my business, but if a bushel or two to these Brotherhood keeps the raiders away, I can live with it.
I'll bring them your offer, Art. Take care.
Fair enough. Can't expect more than that. Thank you. You take care too.
Looks like Art Knapp here is willing to compromise. Might explain why he's been around for so long. Lastly, we find a doctor fella leaning against a wall smoking a cigarette of all things named Dr. Blackburn.
Yes? Something I can help you with? I am waiting to speak with a Brotherhood representative. I have no interest in small talk with strangers.
There's no need to be rude.
Pardon my manners. I am out of practice. Too much time alone. Still, unless this is important, I would prefer to be left alone.
I was gonna speak tonight, Shin, for you, but if you want to be like that...
Perhaps I spoke too hastily. I can be rather unthinkingly brusque. Dr. Edgar Blackburn, at your service. Are you working with this Knight Shin? What has he said to you?
Well, tell me about yourself.
I am sure you have more interesting things to do than listen to a poorly socialized wasteland doctor talk about himself. In short, I trained in multiple specialties before the war, and had a brief career as a research scientist prior to the bombs dropping. Finding myself fortunate enough to survive, I have continued my research, such as it is. Now I focus on the health of the people of Appalachia. Please do not ask me to examine any strange growths. I am not that kind of doctor.
He asked me to find out what you wanted from the Brotherhood.
I had heard that the Brotherhood possessed advanced technology. As a doctor and a scientist, this was of great interest. My research is always in need of equipment and materials rather difficult to obtain by scavenging and bartering. I came to see if an arrangement could be made, but from what I can see of their operations, they are as yet still in too much disarray. Given the state of my fellow supplicants, I would hypothesize that their needs likely outweigh my own.
I'll mention that in my report. I had some other questions, though.
Very well. What did you wish to know?
Can you tell me about your research?
It would be difficult to express it in layman's terms. No offense intended. In essence, I have been studying the illnesses of Appalachia. For too long, people have relied on folk remedies and makeshift medicines. The long-term effects of this environment are concerning. Just because the radiation is survivable does not mean it is safe.
Are you working with Foundation?
Their hygiene standards are better than a lot at Crater, but no. I prefer to work in solitude. One day, perhaps, my research will be of benefit to them and all the other people of Appalachia.
I'll pass that along to Knight Shin right away.
Thank you. Be well.
Well, that's a laundry list of stuff we've got to bring back to Knight Shin. I guess I can understand why he's been a little frustrated. The petitioners walk around in what appears to be a canteen or visitor lounge. There's a bit of scrap down here, but that's about it. We find a long hallway in the back that just leads back outside. No point in coming out here, so heading back in, we can head up the stairs and go report back to Knight Shin.
This is a security office, not a social club. If you're not finished, get back to work. Have you finished the task I gave you?
I was hoping to ask you some other questions.
Complete your duties first, and maybe I'll have time to discuss things with you afterwards.
Oh, well, fine. I've spoken to the petitioners. I'm ready to report.
Good. Let's get this done. I have the list from their arrival. Give me the high-level overview.
Look, does any of this really matter? You couldn't even be bothered to talk to these people.
I am second in command of this entire operation. That I have other things requiring my attention does not mean a task is not required. Paladin Romani wants these people to be heard, and you agreed that you would assist me in this. Do not make me regret the trust I've shown.
Dr. Blackburn was looking for supplies for his research.
The Brotherhood is not a charity. And our mission does not cover providing civilians with equipment to pursue their personal interests, unless the doctor intends to provide that research to the Brotherhood exclusively, and under our supervision, he will get nothing.
We could say, it could be good for everyone if you helped him.
Our job is to procure and protect technology, not fund civilian scientists in developing it. If the doctor's research proves dangerous, then the Brotherhood will take a very pointed interest. Until then, it is his problem.
Or we could say, frankly, he was light on the details anyway.
Then, he can peddle his snake oil somewhere else. The wasteland is full of people claiming to be scientists or doctors. They are rarely either, and usually cause more harm than good.
The wasteland is merciless.
Next report.
Art Knapp wants to trade a share of his crops for protection from raiders.
We are not mercenaries here to serve as guards for anyone with some goods to trade in payment.
We could say, the raiders are his problem. I wouldn't get involved.
I agree. It's bad tactics to involve ourselves in outside disputes. We have enough to do here.
Or we could say, shouldn't you help him regardless?
This is not a charity. As a civilian, you are free to play hero for everyone that comes to you with a sad tale. The Brotherhood, however, has a duty to its mission, and that does not include playing bodyguard. Enough about that. What's next?
Tally Lang wants to buy guns from you.
No, we are not arms dealers.
We can say, she's a raider, actually. Don't ask how I know.
Is she? We would never have given her weapons. This only reinforces that. If you intend to be an initiate, I can't have any doubts about your loyalties. Don't ask will not be an acceptable answer in the future.
Or if we couldn't pass the raider check, we can say, I think she might actually be a raider.
There was never any circumstance in which I would authorize weapons to that woman. But your vigilance is noted.
Finally, we can say, Shawn Hawkman was robbed by people claiming to be Brotherhood.
Impossible. Whatever happened, it was not us.
We can say, don't you want to find the people who did this?
There are countless brigands out there, civilian. It is not the job of the Brotherhood to hunt them down one by one for their crimes. I will say it bothers me to hear that someone is abusing the honor of the Brotherhood this way. But that does not change the facts. Mr. Hawkman's problems are his own, not ours.
Or we can say, what matters is he believes it. You should help him out.
That sounds like something Paladin Romani would say. But what he believes is of no concern of ours. Our people did not rob this man. We are not involved, and it should remain that way.
Well,
that's everything. Against my initial judgment, you have shown that you can take orders and make yourself useful for the Brotherhood. You need to lose those soft civilian instincts, but I will make note of your assistance in my report to Paladin Romani. Should you wish to join our ranks, I will not oppose your enlistment. I grant you permission, provisionally, to enter the compound proper. Go to our scribe Valdez. You will need her support as well if you want Paladin Romani's attention.
Another order?
Orders and duty are the lifeblood of the Brotherhood. You are not yet one of us. Consider it a suggestion.
Are you really not going to help any of them?
What I am going to do is make the recommendations I see fit in my report to Paladin Romani. As the commanding officer, the final decisions will be hers. And your concern in the matter ends here.
I don't suppose you have time for questions now.
Let me complete my report. If I do not have other pressing duties, then I will consent to your questions.
Thanks. I'll do that.
Be vigilant, outsider.
Well, now we've got some sad news to deliver. Heading back to Shawn Hawkman.
Well, I hope you convinced the Brotherhood to make good.
I shouldn't really talk about that, Shawn.
What? Why not? Well, at least you listened. This is more than any of these Brotherhood types did. And thanks for that much.
Or we can say, I don't know about convinced, but I told Shin they should help you out.
Wow. Gotta admit, I didn't really think you were gonna do that. Hey, sorry about being so hot-headed earlier. It turns out you are right. I'm not used to that. Thanks. I'm gonna get back to the grind. I spent too much time here as is. And watch your back out there. And with these guys.
Then we can head downstairs and talk to Art Knapp.
Back again, huh? You talked to that military fella upstairs?
Actually, I recommended they stay out of it and leave you to yourself.
Why would you do a thing like that? I cross you somewhere I don't remember. Got enough problems at my age. I ain't need strangers going out of their way just to make things worse. Well, now you've done your damage. Get, I'm done with you.
Or we can say, I told Knight Shin the Brotherhood should make the deal.
Now that's mighty right of you. Whether they do or not is on them, but you got my thanks for your part in it. Well, I'll be moving along back to the farm soon. Stay out of trouble, you hear?
Then we can find Tally Lang.
Hey, got something for little old me? What's the word from the big bad Brotherhood, huh? Will you butter 'em up for me and my friends? Lots of pew 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 for Tally, lasers and plasma and all that?
I told the Knight you were a raider. Can't have you ruining my image here.
What? You trying to run a con here? I was here first. Nah, forget it. This was a real Hail Mary anyway. You already got farther inside than I did. Don't think I'll forget this, though. If my gang ever catches you, we might have a little talk. Now get out of my sight. You make me sick.
Or if we couldn't pass the raider check, we can say, honestly, I still think you're a raider, Tally, and I told the Knight as much.
Man, why'd you gotta do a thing like that? You just gotta ruin this for me. I never did nothing to you. I mean, not that I am a raider. That's nuts. Stupid that you would think that.
Oh, stupid.
If I was a raider, I'd probably be mad about this. You'd be looking over your shoulder for me and my friends.
Speak or go away.
But lucky for you, I'm not.
Eavesdropping.
Now scram.
Finally, we can check in with Dr. Blackburn.
Yes. Did you need something else?
I was hoping to ask you more about your research.
Your enthusiasm is refreshing. I could discourse on the subject for hours if allowed. Regretfully, I am preparing to return to my lab and do not have the time. Perhaps if we meet again in more congenial circumstances.
We can say, I told Knight Shin they should support your research.
That was unnecessary, as I have said. I appreciate the vote of support, of course. Perhaps if we cross paths again, you will extend such kindness a second time.
Or we can say, I'm sorry, but I couldn't recommend that the Brotherhood aid your research.
No matter. I did tell you not to bother. Still, I regret that I have not convinced you of the import of my work. Should we ever meet again, perhaps I can remedy that. I will be leaving shortly. Take care. The wasteland holds many dangers. Keep your wits and your health about you. Farewell.
With that, the petitioners move on, and we're left to wonder, will Tally really follow up with her threat and make us pay later? Will we ever get to meet Dr. Blackburn and find out exactly what his research is? There's no time to think about it now. For now, we can enter Fort Atlas. With that, we complete the quest, Forging Trust, and begin the quest, Mother of Invention. Explore the Atlas Observatory. As a reward, we get the plans to craft the Brotherhood Round Table at our camp, which works both in our camps and our shelters. So, we need to explore this place and report to Scribe Valdez to find out what she needs from us. But sadly, I'm all out of time. We'll pick up right here where we leave off in my next episode. I publish new Fallout videos every week on my channel, so if you don't want to miss that episode, be sure to subscribe and to click that bell notification button. If you have already, but you still feel like you're missing out on YouTube notifications, consider following me on Twitter at Oxhorn. I update Twitter manually with every new piece of content that I publish. I've got a shirt shop with completely unique designs that you can't find anywhere else. My designs come on shirts in a variety of men's, women's, and children's sizes, and in a wide array of colors. You can find them on other products as well, like smartphone cases, pillows, posters, mugs, stickers, prints, etc. So if interested, you can find a link to my shop in the description below, or you can click here. If you like what I do and you want to support me in a more personal way, consider becoming a patron on Patreon or a member here on YouTube. YouTube members and patrons on Patreon gain access to a private channel on my Discord server, and YouTube members get access to little badges that appear next to their names in the comment sections of my videos, and they can use ox emojis in my video comments and in the live chats of my live streams. But more than anything, I'm just so glad that you're here watching this video with me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with the next episode in the full story of Steel Dawn.